Yeah. Hello everyone. My name is Jitendra Singh. I have total 9 years of experience. I joined the Globant 3 months back, and we are on a training session. I have completed my training session, and now I am on a assessment that is related to the Terraform along with AWS. So on screen you can see this is the actual requirement as per the assessment, in which we need to create some two availability zones. In each availability zone, we will have a public subnet, uh, and two private subnet in each availability zone. So and in public subnet we will have one jump server, that is VM, and in the two private subnet that is related to the each easy availability zone, we have the two different separate VMs which are available in the private subnet. And in the private subnet we will have one database instances. Along with that, we will create the load balancer that will attach to the two VM which are available in two different availability zone in the private subnets. So these are the requirement as per the assessment, and we need to create infrastructure by using Terraform as a ISE, infrastructure as a code. So I have completed that part, and this is the demonstration for that. So I will I will go first on the console to showcase there are no any kind of resources are available and created. It is empty. So this is the VPC, that is nothing but the virtual private cloud network, where it is the default. If you open any personal account or any account on the AWS, it will create the default VPC with a blank name. I have just renamed it to identify it in a better way. It is the default VPC which is already existing in the console. Then this is the subnet which are the default available. It is not created by Terraform. Then root table, this is also default one. Internet gateway, it is default one. Security group, default one. Instances means it is a EC2 instances, means the VM, these are not yet created, that we will create through the Terraform. Key pair means the credential which will require to connect the VM, so it will be created through Terraform itself. Now and then, these are the network interface means these are relevant to interact with the resources from the each other, so it will be also created through the Terraform. These are the default. Database RDS means the relational database services which provided by the AWS. As of now, there is no any kind of database available. Database instances will be created through the data through the Terraform itself. Subnet group, the subnet group is actual it is related to the database, because they must require to have the subnet groups, because each subnet group will have the more than two or more than two availability zone, and it will available, and it must have the two or more than two subnets. So this will be created through the Terraform also. Then finally we will create the load balancer. As of now, you can see there is no any load balancer available. We will create the application load balancer. This is one of the three one of the load balancer out of three. For the load balancer, we need to create the target groups as well. Means the load balancer which will have the sets of the target groups. That is the, you can say example, you can take example of a EC2 instances. Whenever we are creating a uh, load balancer, it will have the set of the target instances. In our case, we will set those as a EC2 instances. So you can see, right now we do not have the relevant resources provisioned on the AWS account, right? Okay, so now we are good to go through our Terraform. I am I will open my Terraform ISC code. So these are the Terraform files through which we will create those instances. So here the variables.tf file, in which we will define our all the variables in one shot. We can define the default value as well, and we can skip the defining the default value in it. Other than this, we will have the terraform.tf vars. Means this is the file in which we can assign the value to the variables, and it will be override if any case of a value assigned to the variable in the variable.tf file. For example, if I have said the EU waste 1, EU waste 2 for the reason, it will be get overridden by EU north 1, and it will be treated reason as a reason value will be EU north 1 for the entire application. Okay, so these are the two files. Then we need to create VPC first, right? VPC is nothing but the virtual private cloud. Through this code, we will create the AWS VPC, and for that we will create the two uh, total four subnets. So this is the public subnet availability zone 1. This is public subnet availability zone 2. This is private subnet availability zone 1, and it is private subnet availability zone 2. Then we need to create internet gateway. Why internet gateway we need it? Because whenever we are creating any public subnet, it is not specifically something different from the private subnet and public subnet if it is not attached the internet gateway. The difference between the public and private subnet is that the uh, public subnet will have the internet gateway attached to it, so that that subnet can interact with the internet and outside the world. So I'm creating internet gateway here, and I'm creating the root table for the public subnet, that is the 000/0. It means it is allowing all the IPs. Then I am creating the root table association with the public subnet. Means once I have created the public subnet and I have created the root table, then uh, association with each other or mapping with each other we need to create through the this command, this resource, AWS root table association, in which I will provide the our public subnet availability zone 1 ID along with a root table IDs, root table RT Terraform. This is for public subnet 1, and this is for public subnet 2. Then I need to create a security group. Security group is nothing but the firewall. It will have the set of rules that will how it will interact with the other network. So I have created through the egress and ingress along with the port 3389. For VPC, it is the recommended port. So this file is responsible to create these counts of uh, resources. Then we are moving to the EC2 instances. So in the EC2 TF file, we will create we will create the 3 VM as per the assessment. One VM will be the jump server, which will be available in the public subnet, and two VM will be created in the private subnet that will be managed by the load balancer. So one is a public VM availability zone 1 Terraform, private VM availability zone 1 Terraform, and private VM availability zone 2 Terraform. And in these VM instances, we have set the data like a AMI, and AMI is nothing but the we have created AMI in the Terraform. This is the AMI. These are the AMI setting which we can fetch through the console itself, right? Then instance type, key name. Key name is nothing but the private key. I will cover this one also. Private key means whenever we are creating the VM or EC2 instances, that can be connected to through the credentials, and for that credential we need the keys. So that key can be generated through the Terraform. I am creating that private key, giving the name with the algorithm RSA and bits. Then key pair means I have passed the key name, and also the public key is this, and I have attached the tag and name. Similarly, the local file will be responsible to create the key file on the local machine with the PEM extension. So this is the responsible for that, and local file will be used to generate the or decrypt the key in a plain text that I will show on the on further in the video. EC2, I have attached this key name, and this is the availability zone, means availability zone 1 means this one. In availability zone 1 I'm creating, and then availability zone 1, availability zone 2 for the next 2 VM. And public subnet, this is I have assigned it. Similarly, this is for private VM, availability zone 1 Terraform. All the things are same, and the availability zone also 1, but the subnet is the private subnet, availability zone 1 ID, right? These are the root blocks, like a volume type, that is the uh, what kind of a volume, that is the general purpose 2 version, and volume size will be the 30 GB, and deletion on the termination is a true. These are the tags. Then private VM, availability zone 2 Terraform. These are also same, but availability zone will be 2, and private subnet 2, and all the settings are the same. So this is about the EC2 instances. Now I am going to the RDS. RDS means it is a database instances that can be created through the AWS DB instances. So it is name of that identifier. These are the basic settings which are required to create the uh, AWS DB server. I am creating the DB instances, database instances, which are related to the MS SQL server, right? And these are the some key which we want to be provide in this case. These are the username and password. Ideally it should not be plain text, it should be some other approach we should be followed, but just for a demonstration or the assessment, I have put that credential here. And the DB instances must have the AWS security group. That is nothing but the firewall, which is related to the MS SQL. How it is different from the other security group? Because it is specific for the port, that is 1433, which is relevant to the specific for the SQL server to communicate with each other. And then AWS DB subnet group. The subnet group is also required for that. So I have created that subnet group as well in this way. So why subnet group is needed? To create a subnet group, to have the multiple subnet into one group, to have the options of a multiple availability zone and multiple subnets. Whenever we are creating any database instances, it must have the option to have the multiple availability zone and multiple subnets to maintain the high availability. So these are the instances, and we are coming to the load balancer. I'm creating that load balancer through this code, LB Terraform. Name load balancer type is application, because we are creating, there are three types of the load balancer. One of that is the application load balancer. For that, I'm creating the security group in that, where I'm providing the subnet list, enabling the deletion protection false. I'm creating the load balancer target group. Target group means I have mentioned previously that we need to be provide the set of the instances through which the load balancer should be balanced the traffic. So these are the target group. These are the basic settings for that. AWS listener, I need to create the listener as well. So these are the settings for the listeners. Now I am attaching the EC2 instances to the target group through this resource code. So these are, I'm attaching that load balancer target group Terraform ARN with a private VM, availability zone 1 Terraform ID, and this is for the second EC2 instance. So attachment 2. In this, I am providing the private VM, availability zone 2 Terraform ID. Okay. AWS security group also I need to create it, because there are separate set of rules related to the load balancer. Like I need to enable the port for port number 80, port number 443. So these are the separate set of rules. So I have created a different security group for the specific for the load balancer. So these are the actual code for the all our resources and infrastructure. So I believe I have covered all the files. EC2 LVL private key provider. Provider is the first file in which we are just mentioning which provider, cloud provider we are using. So we are using AWS with the reason this. RDS we have covered that, and Terraform, TFF, yeah, I have covered all the files. And now I wanted to just execute the commands. So Terraform init I have already executed. So just a sake of time, I am just using plan. So it will let me know uh, which resources it will create, which will be modified, which will be deleted. As of now, we do not have any kind of resources available in our AWS resource console. So I believe it will show only create or add, right? So 25 will be added, 0 to change and 0 to destroy. So we are okay to execute this. So Terraform apply. In order to we can avoid that yes prompt, we can provide the auto approve. Now it will create all the resources in one click, and we need to wait till its completion. Yeah, 25 to add. So it is creating. You will see the file here, that key name, once it is created, because it is created the physical file in the local file, local location. This one, key terraform.pem. It will be utilized to create the key that will be used to connect the our VM. In this 25 instances, the lot of time will be taken by the uh, database instances and then load balancer. So meantime, we can go on the console to check which resources has been created as of now, right? So we are moving to the console. I'm refreshing this. So VPC Terraform is created, and once I created on this, selected on this, I can open it, and inside this we can check for the tags. This is VPC Terraform and created by the Terraform. These were the tag I have added into it. So VPC is created. Then second, subnet. I'm refreshing it. Yep. And I'm selecting the my VPC. The subnet which are belongs to my VPC. I can filter from this. So these are the two private subnet, two public subnet belongs to the two different availability zone. These are also created on the portal. Yeah. Second is the next is a root table. After refreshing it, I can filter it through the VPC Terraform. These two root table are created through the when we created that through the Terraform. So RT Terraform, this root table will be are created from the Terraform. Second, internet gateway. So this is the internet gateway which I have created through the Terraform. Yeah. Then second, security group. I'm refreshing here. These are the security groups. I can filter it through the VPC Terraform. Yeah. So these are the security groups which we have created through the Terraform, like the load balancer Terraform, MS SQL Terraform, SD Terraform. So this belongs to the VPC or EC2 instances. And description you can see here. Allow the required, these are the description which we have set from the Terraform instances. So as of now, refreshing from here, as of now, only one public VM AZ1 Terraform is created. It should be available. The VM instances will must be created as a 3, but we will check why it is not created yet. Public subnet. I believe it will take some time. creating, 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 creation completion for the one. Yeah, rest of the VM are still in progress. So we need to wait. Then key pair. This is the key Terraform which we have created. This is the one key network interface. Yep, this three network interface is created. Okay, okay, and then database instances. The database instances MS SQL DB Terraform. It is also in progress for creation. Then subnet group, which is related to the SQL RDS subnet group MS SQL Terraform. It is also created. Load balancer. The load balancer is created and active as of now. LB Terraform. And this is the target group. LB target group Terraform. So it is also created. These are the resources are created through the Terraform. Now we can check some details like in the load balancer resource map. In the resource map, it will show that listener is created, rule is defined, target group is one, and target is not yet mapped because it is still in progress for creation. So let it be. We will wait till that get created. It is taking some time for database to be created. Till that, I'm pausing the video. It is still in progress for database to be created. Meantime, I will show how we can use that key file to connect the VM. So this is the public VM. I will open it. So we have the this running. Okay, it is a public VM status monitoring security inbound outbound networking and networking. Okay, so I will go to the connect icon RDP. Here you can see like a public IP. It has been assigned as a public IP so that it can be connected through the outside. But password we do not have. So get password I will create on get password. Upload the private key which is relevant to the key Terraform. In our project it is key terraform.pem. I will open it and decrypt the password. So this is the password for that. I will download the remote desktop file. This one public VM Azure AZ1 Terraform. I am opening that, connecting. Username will be administrator and password which I have created, and I will connect it. So I have connected to the RDP my this VM. Yeah. Okay. So this is one of the option. I can close this public IP. I have copied that public IP on the laptop. I will go through the remote desktop connection. Here I will paste it, connect, and I will paste the password here. We can connect through the public IP as well. Yeah, it is connected to the VM. Okay, so this is the use of that key. It is still in process, more than 10 minutes. It is still creating the DB instances. Okay, we are waiting till that. Yeah, so database instances is created and it is available. It is created successfully, but on the Terraform, we have received some error related to the our 2 VM. It is saying that the invalid key pair not found. The key pair key Terraform does not exist, but it is created like this. But it is created there. This is it is there, but not sure how it is referring. So I'm pausing that. We'll troubleshoot that and we'll create it again it. Mm, all the settings are seems like good. So what I'm doing, I'm just rerunning this Terraform apply. First, I will check the plan, which instances it will create further again, and according to that, we will hit that Terraform apply. So four item it will add. Which one? Load balancer attachment 2, load balancer attachment 1, and rest of the two must be the VM. Yeah, private VM zone 2 and private VM zone 1. All right, so we are okay. So to execute it, let's see. VM1, VM2 creating, still creating. Completion. Creation completed for VM2, completed for VM1, and attachment is also done. Okay, so let me check if the instances are created. Yes. So one public VM is created already. It is working. It is running, which we have created and we have connected through the RDP. And two VM is also created now. These are the private and it is running state, but status check is initializing. So we need to wait till the all the checks pass. Yeah. And other than this, if we go to the load balancer here, it is got refreshed. So inside the resource map, there is a one listener, one rule, one target group. Inside one target group, we have assigned the two instances. These are the private instances, private EC2 VM. Yeah. So these are load balancer, and you can see the target group. Inside the target group, if we open it, the targets are two: private VM1, private VM2. Yeah. Target group. This is the load balancer. Instances. Let the instances up and running. Now, as per the assessment, what we need to do, we need to connect the VM, that is the public subnet, and through that we should be able to connect this VM. VM in the private VM in the private subnet, and the VM which are available in the private subnet should not be available to be accessed from the outside. That I will show you on this demo. And inside that VM, we will connect to the database instances. This database instances will be connected through this VM, which is available in the private subnet in the availability zone 1, and also along with this VM, which is available in the private subnet of the availability zone 2, right? So in this is the I am closing this one because it is misleading the name. I am connecting through the this name. On the RDP name, it is clearly specifying that the public VM is zone 1, Terraform 1, right? What I have did till that, I have installed this latest Edge browser so that I can connect my AWS account, and I can connect the two private VM from inside this VM. So start without your data, confirm and continue, confirm and start browsing. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to connect to the AWS console login. AWS multi-factor authentication. Yeah. EC2 instances. EC2 instance. Yeah, all the three VMs are available to join, to connect. So first I will show you. I will try to connect this private VM from my laptop. Means it is outside from the availability zone. Private, this one. I will try to connect this, but you can notice that this is the private IP. Yeah, so I will not be able. I must not be available to connect this. Get password, key Terraform, decrypt, copy, and download the remote desktop. This is the private VM AZ1. I'm connecting this. I will try to connect to this my private VM, but it will be failed like this. Okay, so we are okay here. Now we are going to connect this private VM1 from our public VM. Now connect RDP, download remote desktop file, keep, and just open a file. Just 1 second. So from this public VM, I will be trying. This is the password IJ. Okay. Yes. So from the public VM, I am able to connect to my private VM. Similarly, I will connect to my second VM as well, second private VM. Meantime, we will try to connect the this DB instance. If I open this database instances, you can see the publicly accessible is a no, and this is the endpoint. So I will try to connect this database from my laptop. So these are the credentials: MS SQL DB Terraform. At the end, 1433 is the port admin, and we were set the password in the RDS. That's nice. Remember option, it is optional. Connect. So we will not able to connect to the database instances because it is private and it is not publicly available. It is available inside the private subnet. Yeah. So unable to connect. Okay. Uh, I have connected to the this public VM. Inside that, I have connected to the private VM 1 and private VM 2. And inside that, I am installing the Microsoft SQL Server 2019 version so that we can connect to the SQL Server. Yeah, so setup is completed for the Microsoft SQL Server SSMS. Now we will try to open it and we'll try to connect. Yeah, so SSMS is opened on private VM 2. We will we will check one by one. MS SQL connect connection endpoint and port. SQL Server admin. Yes, so database is connected from the private VM 2. Similarly, we will try to connect the same database instances from the private VM 1. Yeah, connected. Whereas we were not able to connect through our laptop. Till that, I just want to share some information like these are the private VMs, so internet will be not available here. Like inside the private VM 1, if you scroll down to this window, no internet access. Similarly, for private VM 2, it is also the same. No internet connection available. And this is our public VM, and internet is working, and you can see the internet access is available, and pop-up is coming that unable to connect from the laptop, so we are not able to connect to the database. So this is the demo for the database connectivity. Okay. And different configuration monitor, these details can be shown from this CloudWatch. These are the extra features, right? And other than this, VM is done. Load balancer, yes, we have seen the load balancer also in picture. Inside the load balancer, these are the listeners, network mapping. These are the two availability zone and subnets, and the source mapping. We have seen that, right? So these are the, this all is about the our assessment related to the Terraform. So we have created the availability zone. Inside the two different availability zone, we have created the uh, one or two public subnets and two private subnets in each availability zone. We have created one VM or three VM. One is a jump server and second are available in each private subnet. And fourth instance, we have created the database instance in the private subnet, and one load balancer which we have created in the public subnet, and they are connected to the these two VMs. So these are the all instances created here, and in order to we can destroy all these stuff, all these resources in one shot through the Terraform, that we can uh, that we can just see from the demo point of view. But before that, I need to just stop it temporary. The reason behind that stopping the database, if we are not stopping the database, it will associate it or mapped with some other resources, and Terraform will be not able to delete those resources in one shot. It will throw the exceptions. So we are just stopping this. It will take some time. Till that, I am pausing the video, and this is the last step through which we will delete all the infrastructure in one click.